And just like that, I'm back. Yeah, it doesn't feel like 2 weeks. So I'm back. I am back on my weight loss journey, hopefully. And yeah, I'm back with you guys. So it is week 55 for me. Excuse me, my voice has been going. Part of the last 2 weeks have been pretty full on. So yeah, excuse me if it croaks in and out along the way. So week 55. Last time I checked in with you was at the sort of midpoint between week 52 and week 53. And I did that specifically because it would be my exact 1 year Mounjaro anniversary, as I decided to call it. And that was a way in to see if I'd made the 6 stone goal that I had set myself, which was a decrease from the original 100 pounds that I wanted to lose by the 1 year mark. I did hit that 6 stone goal. And yeah, so that was a really nice ending to go away for 2 weeks and eat all of the food and do all of the things. As you know, my daughter was over for a visit with her partner, and we did a little bit of trekking around Cornwall, where they got to sort of like do some of the Cornish things. She wanted to show him around here and like have things like Cornish pasties and cream teas. So there was a little bit of that. Obviously, that's a lot of gluten, so I didn't really indulge in much of that. And then over to Ireland for, again, a bit of a road show and a trip with him, so he gets to see a little bit of Ireland and all of the Irish foods. Now, I am going to say I did eat a lot in the last 2 weeks. A lot outside of what I would normally eat as well. And there were a couple of days where I literally let go of the reins. So I ate gluten and dairy, especially at the wedding. I didn't want to be one of those people that was, like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Because like I said, I've always said I have intolerances, not allergies. So it was easy for me to kind of take it on the chin for a couple of days, but also to enjoy the food. Part of celebrating something like that is that you do, get to indulge in things. It wasn't everything I expected. It's so strange. So there's a couple of things that I really enjoy eating. One of them is Irish brown bread or Irish soda bread. It is a very dense, heavy, sort of crumbly brown bread. You can only get the flour I've ever seen like that in Ireland. But anyway, and so I did indulge in that after the wedding because I wanted to get into that dress and I wanted to look my best. So I didn't have any gluten or dairy in the lead up to the wedding because I didn't risk anything happening to that dress, which I'd invested quite a lot in. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the trip and how it went, having time with my daughter and her boyfriend, her partner. So yeah, it was a really good trip. But we're back to reality now. We're back to not going back on Mounjaro. I will talk about my dosing in a minute, but I did switch things around a little bit just to give myself a bit of wiggle room, if you like. So I didn't want to be away and not being able to eat or struggling with side effects. I will tell you what happened to me yesterday. I don't know if it was a side effect or I was ill, but horrible. Anyway, so going back to kind of like my regular weekly update. So we've missed 2 full weeks, so it's kind of like 2.5 weeks, I would say. So my dose, if you don't know, I'm currently on a 10 milligram pen, but from that at the moment I am taking 2 times 5 milligrams. So I dose on a Thursday and a Sunday. So I take 5 milligrams each day. And that's working really well for me because it helps manage my hunger, my cravings, my food noise, but it doesn't stop me from eating. I've struggled since the beginning with being a hyper-responder, and when I take the medication, I really lose all hunger. So for 4 days, I wouldn't eat hardly anything at all. And then the last sort of 2 to 3 days, I'd be able to eat something. So I didn't want to do that. That's why I switched around, and I've been taking sort of small doses twice a week rather than the full dose. I started the 10 milligrams back in June. So I started on the 10 milligram pen, but I was only taking 8.5 milligrams from it. But that was still proving to be quite strong. So then that's when I made the decision to sort of dose down to 5 milligrams, but twice a week. For the wedding, what I did was I wanted to, like, the wedding was on a Saturday, obviously. So I wanted to, be able to eat for the wedding. So I started sort of like mixing the days up a little bit, like bringing the days forward. So what I did was on the week of the wedding, so on the Saturday that we went away, I think it was, so it's all a bit of a blur now. On the Saturday that went away, I took my normal 5 milligrams. So that got me sort of like doing the trips with my daughter. And then it got me to the Wednesday in Ireland of pre the wedding. And on that day, I can't remember if it was 2.5 mil or about 3 mil. I used an insulin needle anyway. So I think it was about 3 mil I took out of it. I didn't want to take the full 5 because by Saturday, I wanted to be able to enjoy the food. It was at a very, very nice hotel. It was very nice food, and I didn't want to just be picking at it. So that's what I did, and it worked really well. I was able to eat comfortably on the day of the wedding. I ate some of the starter. There was like a soup course. I skipped the soup because it wasn't something that would agree with me anyway. And then on the main course, my goodness me, the main course was like a massive steak. Unbelievable. For like 400 people, I think there were 370, I think they said showed up. But yeah, this massive steak. I mean, this steak was really thick, beautiful, juicy, tender, and obviously came with loads of vegetables and trimmings and everything. And I was getting through the steak, and then I suddenly realised I wouldn't be able to finish the steak. So I got rid of all the vegetables and the potatoes and everything, and I just focused on the meat because I was like, I am eating this steak. I don't care about the rest of it. And then when it went on to dessert, like I said, I'd given myself permission to eat the dessert. But actually, when it came, it didn't really bother me. I had a mouthful of it. It didn't really taste anything amazing. So I had 1 or 2 bites and then I just left it. So that was that. But yeah, so the dosing, like I said, I mixed around with that. The Sunday after the wedding, I took the full 5 milligrams. Yeah, that's right. And then that put me back on schedule. So doing 5 milligrams on Sunday, then I was back to normal. And yeah, so I've kind of gone back to my routine now. Hunger, well, I had some hungry days. And that was maybe because we were walking around a lot. We were doing a lot of sightseeing and things like that. And like I said, I gave myself permission to eat everything. So there was a lot of eating out while we were away. But I tried to make some healthy choices. I tried to have some food that was convenient to me. So those packets of just like grilled chicken, I had one of those sort of in my bag so that if we went somewhere and there just wasn't anything appropriate for me to eat, I could eat like some chicken breast. I've always got nuts in my bag and I've always got dried fruit. There was a really nice salad I had one day. So yeah, it was all of the different things. So hunger was there some days, but like I said, we were walking around quite a bit. And yeah, we had some pub meals out. There was some fast food. All I did was take the bun off, that kind of thing. Obviously fish and chips because Luke wanted to have some fish and chips. But yeah, it wasn't overwhelming. And even on the 2.5 or 3 milligrams, whatever I took before the wedding, my hunger wasn't out of control. It was definitely a case of, I could eat all of this if I wanted to, but actually I didn't really want to. So there was that element of control that I still had, which was great. And, it left me questioning if I could move down to 2.5. I'm not going to do that yet because I do want to get to my goal weight. And I think I'll be there sometime around Christmas. That's where I'm thinking at the moment. So yeah, along the way I had a couple of full Irish, which is bacon, eggs, sausage, white pudding, black pudding, beans, mushrooms, eggs. What else is on a full Irish? Yeah, and I managed to eat most of it. Most of it each time. There was a couple of moments of regret where I was like, oh, I'm over full, but I wasn't ill. I wasn't like to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. It's horrible. But yeah, so that was great. The only other, I've just kicked the stand. Sorry. The only other thing was on the Friday night, we'd had a really full-on day and wanted to go out for dinner, and I ordered a shepherd's pie, and I was ready to launch into that shepherd's pie and eat the lot. We'd been walking around. I think we'd done 9 or 10 miles that day. So, we'd really been walking quite a lot. And I felt like I was ready to eat the whole plateful. I only managed like about a third of it or just about half of it, and had to take the rest away with me. So that was a bit of a shock, because I thought I'd be able to hoof it down after the day that we'd had. But yeah, so that was that out of the way. Exercise, well, I did a lot of walking, a lot of touristy kind of things, climbing stairs and whatnot. But no, I haven't been back to the gym since I've been back because I've been trying to catch up. I drove 2,500 miles in 8 days, which doesn't sound a lot to Americans maybe, but to Brits, that's quite a distance in 8 days. So the last couple of days, I spent one day in bed where I was just like, I'm not getting out of bed for love nor money. So I spent that whole day in bed, just reading, catching up on vlogs, sleeping, just relaxing. But yeah, I'm back into normal routine again now. So I will be back to the gym, but not this week. Mood, sleep. Well, my sleep, I'm really pleased to report. I think my sleep is really sorted now, settled. I slept all the time I was away. I've slept since I've come back. I am waking up probably once tonight, but I'm really feeling rested from my sleep. And that is the first time I can say that in about 9 months. I feel properly rested and caught up, and not like every day is, oh my God, how am I going to drag myself through this day? Which is great. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. What else? Side effects. I say I'm back to normal. So I took my return shot on Wednesday evening, just because obviously my schedule was a bit out of whack and things. So I took it Wednesday evening. So I had all of Thursday fine, most of Friday okay. Wasn't hungry on Friday, but really wanted to try and eat something because I was aware that I hadn't eaten much. So I tried lunch. That didn't go down well. And I left about half of it. It tasted good, but I just couldn't finish it. And then yesterday I'd done another batch of my chicken soup. And yes, my chicken soup video is coming soon. It's just waiting to be finished editing. So I'm kind of not forced myself to eat some chicken soup, but I had a bowl of chicken soup and I just thought I'm going to eat some of this because I haven't eaten much today. Oh, that was, I don't know if it's a bit of like a virus or a flu, or if it is Mounjaro or what was going on, or I was just having an off day. Spent an hour just pacing the house, smelling alcohol wipes. I took some Gaviscon. I stood over the sink at one point because I thought I'm going to throw up. I don't know what it was. I didn't feel ill. But the other thing, like my whole sinuses filled up. I felt like I was having an allergic reaction. I was looking on the products that I'd used. I used some chili oil to see, like, is there any soy in here? Or, it was awful. So that was an hour of last night after dinner that was, I want to say, about the most uncomfortable hour I've had in a long time. And I went to bed. I went to bed at 8 o'clock because I just felt so poorly. I have got this croaky voice. My daughter has messaged to say that they've both got colds and they're not feeling very well. So I don't know if maybe I am fighting a virus or something, but yeah, I haven't eaten today. It's about noon. Yeah, it's 12:30 now, and I still haven't eaten. I haven't even had my protein coffee. I've just had coffee, which isn't great, but anyway, I feel like I'm waffling a little bit on this vlog. Sorry, I'll try and rein it in a little bit more. But yeah, so that's kind of side effects. That was a random one. That was just, I don't know whether that was Mounjaro, like I said, or if it was just a viral thing. But it was bad. It was really bad. The only reason I'm thinking it might be Mounjaro is because I have had it once before. And I know that is a side effect, but yeah, the cramping and just like, that I'm going to throw up kind of feeling. But I almost wish I had. I know that sounds weird, but I wish I had, because then I think it would have eased quicker. Non-scale victories. Well, the dress for the wedding. The dress fit absolutely comfortably. I think I looked really good in it. And it's the first time in my life, I have attended a function and not been uncomfortable in the garment I'm wearing, or worried that it's clinging in all the wrong places, or that it doesn't suit me, or I should have chosen something different. I felt good. I got so many compliments and comments and just feedback. I mean, obviously my family, they kind of had heard from my sister that I'd lost weight, but it almost became embarrassing with me kind of like, please stop. Please stop. Everyone kept telling me, just God, how well I looked and how amazing and well done me. And, you look fantastic. And I don't take compliments well. So that was just, I was hit with complete overwhelm with that. And like I said, I just found it really embarrassing, and I don't like the focus of attention being on me. So yeah, but anyway, that's a major non-scale victory. So I'm really pleased about that, and yeah, it was a refreshing change to not feel out of place, to feel comfortable. And I mean, like, it was Irish weddings are glamorous affairs, and there were people there that were absolutely done up to the nines, and I felt completely at ease and comfortable in my own skin, and just very happy with my outfit choice and everything. And that's, I know I sound astounded by, but that's the first time I've ever felt like that at a function. Ever. So huge non-scale victory for me. My shoes were really uncomfortable. My shoes were so uncomfortable. And my daughter had, she'd brought heels with her, but whether it was the travelling, she couldn't get her feet in them. And so there was a moment of panic on the wedding day of her shoes not fitting, and literally no time. And I'm kind of annoyed about this. I was prepared. I knew my shoes were going to bother me by the end of the night. So I had bought a pair of Clarks. Clarks are in America as well. A pair of Clarks, very comfortable, sort of 1.5-inch black suede heels that would have gone with my dress. They've got that padding in. So I was prepared. I was like, I'll just switch my shoes midway through. Well, I had to donate my shoes to her. So she was comfortable all day, and I was stuck in these high-heel, pointy-toed torture machines all day long. So I looked good, but yeah, I could barely walk by the end of the evening. But like good Irish weddings, they provided flip-flops for all the ladies by the end of the evening. So I left in flip-flops. So goals-wise, what I am going to do is I'm going to keep my original goal weight of 147.8 pounds. That will be 100 pounds down from my Mounjaro starting weight. I've said before, I've already lost 100 pounds from my highest weight. Incidentally, I found a picture of me at my highest ever weight, the weight I don't know what I was. but it was shocking. It was actually my niece had a picture of me holding my great niece. Yeah. And that blew me away. I will include it either here or in the next video. So yeah, that current goal remains 147.8. There's a couple of other mini goals. As you know, I like setting my mini goals along the way. So one of my mini goals is to get into the healthy weight range, and that would be 159.2 pounds according to my Renfo scale. That will put me in the green. I'm still in the orange. So yeah, 159.2. Another goal is to get under 70 kilos. So I'm about 3 kilos away from that. So that's another goal. That's a good goal. Another goal is to get into the 150s. Well, that 159.2 will get me into the 150s anyway. So yeah, I'm not too far off that. Have I got any other goals? I can't remember. Oh, to get into the 10 stones. So I'm in the 11s at the moment. So to get into the 10 stones in the UK. So yeah, those are kind of like the mini goals along the way. But like I said, the ultimate goal at the moment is 147.8. So that brings me on to my weight for the last 3 weeks. So if you know, my last weigh-in was on the 1st of October 2025, and that was 163.8 pounds, 11 stone 9.8, or 74.3 kilos. And that was my 6 stone goal that I had set myself by the 1st of October, which I made by the skin of my teeth, but I made it. This week, so 3 weeks later, 3 full weeks later, my current weight is 161 pounds even, or 11 stone 7, or 73 kilos. So that's a total weight loss for the last 3 weeks of 2.8 pounds, or 1.3 kilos. So even eating all of the food, some of it quite naughty food, for the last 3 weeks, I think just because of the exercise and like walking around so much, but also my portion sizes are pretty normal portion sizes. Normal. They're pretty standard portion sizes, so I haven't gone overboard. There's been a little bit of snacking and treats, obviously driving so much there was some stuff in the car, but not to the extent that it used to be. And yeah, just so stopping places, having a coffee or things like that. Do you want a cake? No, I don't really want a cake. Or, going into service stations, getting a drink or something. And I haven't left with like a bar of chocolate or a packet of crisps. It's just been go in, get a drink, and then get back on the road. So that's really a difference in previous times when I would have always had, like, especially getting in the car. Does anybody have that when you're going away or you're on a break or you're going somewhere? It's like car food is free food. You kind of go a bit mad, you've got snacks and things on the go. That's how it used to be for me, for us when we were traveling. We'd always have like candy in the car or crisps, or it was kind of like a naughty treat as we went about our trips or our holidays or whatever. But I didn't feel the need to do that this time. So yeah. So overall, I mean, visit and wedding and mood and everything, it's been a really good 3 weeks. And the fact that I've lost 2.8 pounds, bonus. I mean, cracky. I would have settled for staying at the same weight. But yeah, to lose nearly 3 pounds, I'm really pleased with that. Like I said, I feel a bit croaky and scratchy and not quite myself, but we'll get there in the end. So there we are. That's my roundup of the last couple of weeks. And going forward, obviously, like I said, I'm pushing on for my goals, my mini goals and getting to where I want to be. I've set myself that target of Christmas by reaching that 147.8. So we'll see if I get there. What is that in? I haven't worked that out. So it's about £14, I think. So yeah, if I can make that goal by Christmas time, that's £14. It's exactly £14 to get there to £147. So yeah, I'd like to see if I can do that. If I'm going to do 147.8, it's actually £13.2. But let's talk about it being £14 for now. But yeah, so that brings you up to date. I will put together a little montage of Ireland. I don't know whether it'll be on this one because I want to try and get this uploaded today. But it will be either on this one or the next one. So just so that you've got a bit of an idea of what we got up to. I haven't done too much filming. Like I said, I wanted a complete break away from everything, just to refocus and not have to worry about getting things done. So there was just a couple of times I picked up the camera and I'll see if I can get that edited and added onto the end of here by today. Okay, right, well, I will see you on Wednesday for my first midweek musing return, and I will put up that chicken soup video at some point. I thought I was going to have it done by the time I went away. It didn't happen, and then I completely forgot about it, I'm not going to lie. So anyway, hopefully I won't be this croaky again on Wednesday, and you'll be able to hear me and understand me better. But all right, thanks everybody, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye now. Okay, so you can see we're in Temple Bar now. It is very early in the morning, actually. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And yeah, we're walking around. We're trying to get into our hotel. We've asked if we can get in early, but yeah, they're not too keen on that. So we've been out, we've had breakfast. We're going for a walk around Dublin. We're going to go see Dublin Castle, and then we are off to the Guinness Storehouse. But we're currently in Temple Bar. So if you've not been here before, it's worth a visit. And my daughter's inside changing her shoes. So I've had full Irish breakfast, which is bacon, egg, sausage, beans, white pudding, black pudding, and yeah, it's too much for me, and I'm feeling a little bit sick right now. But them's the breaks. That's the chance you take when you dive into something like that first thing in the morning. So we had to do that because, like I said, we're waiting for our hotel, and it's taking a little bit longer than we hoped or planned. So anyway, I will catch you again later when I've got some more to show you. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye. Emergency evacuation at the Guinness factory. Not quite sure what's going on. Could only happen to us. Could only happen to us.
if you want to, you don't have to.